This is the Just Checking In podcast for Thursday, April 27th, 2017. We're your hosts, Braden Hensey.
And Paul Klosterman. Greetings.
Greetings, and welcome to Just Checking In. Today's show will be...
Just checking in.
Just checking in. Let's just jump right on into business and technology, shall we?
Sure.
All right, Mastodon. Paul, I'm going to explain to you what Mastodon is.
Okay.
In a most epic way.
Right.
Okay. What if there was a Facebook / kind of Twitter-ish place out there where only you and friends that you have gone out and told what Mastodon is were a part of?
Like a more private social media.
Yes. A place where your mother and my mother were not.
Okay.
Well, don't you think that Facebook basically fell into a place to where it became trendy and all of our parents moved
there's like
into it
a billion and a half people on it or something crazy. It's a lot of people.
Do you remember getting me on Facebook? Because I do believe it was you that told me about it.
That seems backwards, but fair enough.
Are you sure?
Well,
you had an education email and I did not, a .edu.
Right. Yeah, it very well could be then, yeah.
Okay, so what Mastodon is, it is a private server that can be basically made into a roll-your-own. It's more like Twitter than it is Facebook, but you've got that whole feed-type deal going on with it. What do you think, Paul? Do we need our own Mastodon server?
Possibly. I am not all that familiar with it, but I had to read up on it a little bit today. It sounds kind of neat.
Who would be techie enough that we know that would actually want to be a part of something like that?
Techie enough?
Yeah, because,
techie enough is really...
Are you going to roll your own Mastodon server?
I don't know what roll your own server means.
That's the thing.
No, I don't understand the terminology, I guess.
Okay, well, just...
I don't know if that means it's not a practicality, but does one have to roll a server in order to use such a
Somebody
thing?
does, and then have to invite you onto it. And you would have to then use, like, the Mastodon client to do such things.
I see. I mean, because I can use the Facebook thing pretty well.
Is there anything that's going to pull you away from said Facebook type deal?
See, I still call it the Facebook, first of all.
The Facebook.
Yeah.
Got it. I think they dropped that in one of the very early updates, but keep going.
Well, it was after Jesse Eisenberg had that lunch with the guy from NSYNC and Spider-Man. That's when they stopped using the...
Which one was the twins?
They weren't part of that.
No?
No.
Winklevoss?
They were in a whole different section of the movie. I don't know. Anyhow.
Let's move on to the next section, Paul.
Okay.
Sports, that's you.
So, did you feel like you described the Mastodon thing that well?
Do you think I did?
I don't know. I think we got the gist of it, but maybe not as in-depth as... See, the first thing I think of when I hear Mastodon, I would naturally go to pterodactyl, triceratops, saber-toothed tiger, tyrannosaurus.
Maybe we need to invent our own Mastodon-like thing that we call...
The Power Rangers. Oh, okay.
Well, they would all come together. I would form the head, and as one,
Gotcha.
we would defeat Godzilla.
You know, on the Power Rangers, I really never understood how those big robotic things could ever beat up any... They move so slowly.
Well, why did the bad guy always start so small when he could become a giant thing that would have to fight a robot?
Also, reasonable question. Why was he even wasting his time fighting the Power Rangers in hand-to-hand combat when he could expand himself and blow them up or whatever? I'm not sure.
There were a lot of sparks.
Yeah. The show had its quirks. I guess they're remaking it too. So.
Did you see the new movie?
Oh, is it already out?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Who was in that? Wasn't, like, Kevin Spacey
No idea
in it? Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston, yeah.
Bryan Cranston was Zordon.
He was Zordon. I always thought the first Zordon, he must have been one of the worst actors ever. Even though he was just a floating head, he just seemed like he wasn't into it. Anywho, do we have anything more in your Mastodon?
No, we're good.
Okay. I'm going to do some talk on sports here in our second segment.
Sports. I've heard of them before.
This is our first episode of this Just Checking In. We're kind of just checking in to a variety of topics. That's the whole concept here. So we hit on some technology talk. And now we're going to hit on some sports talk. I'm going to talk about the Cardinals. See, I'm wearing actually a Pittsburgh Pirate cap tonight. I don't know if you can see that.
The Cardinals, they play...
In St. Louis, they're a baseball team.
Got it.
Yeah.
I know nothing about sports.
Right. Well, the Cardinals, they got off to a pretty rocky start. So, actually, as we speak, they're trying to win their 11th game. They're trying to get to 500 finally. But as of this writing, they are really pretty sloppy right now. Offensively, they're near the bottom. Second to last in runs. I got all the stats right in front of me here. Second to last in hits, third and worst in runs. They also are near the bottom in average, OBP, OPS, all those other big categories. Only one of their regulars, Jed Jerko, is hitting better than 267. And their pitching, although it's been somewhat better, team ERA is still like in the middle of the pack. You don't know anything what I'm saying, do you?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. You've watched a baseball game, right?
I've been to a baseball game.
Been to a baseball game. That's good. I've been to just one this year, but anyhow, their defense has really been struggling too.
I gotta stop you
Yep.
there. They play every year?
Every year, 162 games,
Okay,
give or
I
take.
promise not to stop you again.
All right. But, you know, coming into the season, their bullpen was supposed to be a strength. It's not been a strength. Their offense was supposed to be a strength. It's not been a strength either. Their defense was supposed to be improved. It's not been improved. And all microphone just knocked over here. I think we got it there. All right, there we go.
Pro podcaster right here.
Yeah. Fundamentals are simply lacking, you know. But so I'm basically asking the question: will it continue? And I don't think it will. I think they're gonna pull through it. They got this new reliever, Brett Cecil. He was kind of their big free agent signing. He's a left-handed reliever. He signed like a $40 million contract or something, which is crazy, a lot of money. Like, if you can throw the ball with your left hand, you can pretty much make $10 million a year. So
Can I make $10 million a year if I
can
throw
you
a ball?
throw the ball with your left hand? Then the answer is no. You cannot make $10 million. That was the simplest of questions. If you can throw the ball with your left hand, you have a good chance of making multi-million-dollar deals. Brett Cecil could. So he got this big contract. He's been pretty bad so far, but he's starting to pick it up, I think. And Dexter Fowler was their big offensive pickup. He's starting to pick it up as well. Last I saw, he was hitting like 200, which is terrible, but you know he's going to get better. So I guess the question becomes: are they going to be better than what they have been? Are they going to be able to come back and catch the Cubs? Well, I don't think they're going to catch the Cubs. The Cubs are really, really good, but I think the Cardinals are definitely going to get back on track and win some games. You know, as a Cardinal fan, you always kind of wonder if Mike Matheny can stay out of his own way, and that's always been the question. Hopefully he can a little bit so they can win like 85, 86 games this year again.
Does that put them into the playoffs?
Well, I think they won 86 last year, and they missed the playoffs by 8 games. So if they're in that 85, 86 range, they'll be right there. But
What about a wild card contender at that point?
yeah, that would be right around the wild card. These are good terms, you know. In the playoffs, the wild card. These are good
I'm
terms.
literally using everything I can pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's the Cardinals right now. We'll keep an eye on them. Also tonight, the NFL draft's going on as we speak, but we're in the St. Louis area, so who cares about the NFL? Don't shop at Walmart. Stan Kroenke sucks. That's all I got.
And with that, we're going to go to our sponsor break.
Is it Walmart?
It's not Walmart.
Oh, that's good.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Dr. Holly Fluffernutter's private practice and lawyers at law. Lawyers at law. Attorneys at law. They will perform your surgery and help you sue themselves after they mess it up.
Okay.
There's a callback to... Anyway,
Better
we would
days.
love to have sponsors. Obviously, that was a fake one.
There is such a thing as like a doctor/lawyer. Who is that? There's a guy on TV, you see that, it's like a doctor/lawyer. He comes in with like his, he's in scrubs and he's talking about legalese and stuff. You remember those commercials?
This was
I've
a commercial shown
not
with.
too long ago, but it's been, I think, a couple years. You know, like the Terry Crouppen, and he was
Yeah.
one of these types of guys.
That one I know. The guy
Right.
with the eye patch.
The guy with the
sure.
eye patch. I'm pretty certain that guy doesn't even need an eye patch.
No, I'm pretty sure Sue. Yeah.
You-
No, it switches from
Is that right?
commercial to commercial.
Are you sure you're not looking in a mirror when you're watching it?
Maybe. Or, I have plenty of video problems. My
Right.
TV could have been backwards.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just a sympathy thing. Well, maybe not, though. Who knows? I hope he's not listening, because he'll probably sue us if he is.
Slander. I don't think we could be caught. Anyway.
Probably not.
Our next little section here, Paul.
Yeah.
Books, movies, entertainment.
So, yeah, we're going to review a book or a movie or, I guess, a piece of entertainment. If you have a video game you want to talk about or something like that, we could review. That's entertainment now,
Do you
I
play
guess.
a lot of video games, Paul?
Not these days. I've been talking about getting the newest PlayStation model, but then I thought better of it because I have better ways to spend like $400.
What entices you? I'm intrigued now. What entices you about the latest PlayStation? Is it the VR?
Is that a thing now? I
Yeah,
don't even know.
it's a
I
thing.
liked sports games mostly,
Fair enough.
and
I
I
don't
think,
think there's sports VR games yet.
Probably
Virtual reality for the layman.
not. Yeah, I think I first knew that term from the show VR Troopers, which was like a takeoff of the Power Rangers. You remember that show?
No.
90s. It was 3 kids. They were VR troopers, virtual reality troopers. You gotta look that one up. That was
All
quality.
right.
It was like a knockoff of the Power Rangers. They
Are
were
they
on
going
like.
to make a movie out of it next?
I doubt it.
Let's hope
It's
so.
never made it as big. I
All
actually
right.
listened to a podcast from the creator of the Power Rangers not too long ago. You ever
Saban?
something like that? Yeah.
Because it always said Saban like at the bottom.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. Saban Entertainment or Saban, yeah. It was really interesting because he saw the show on in Japan, and he was like laying in a hotel room bed just flipping through channels, and he says he sees this show. He's like, the exciting thing is the hardest and most expensive stuff to film is the action sequences. So he decided, I'm just going to take all those action sequences, bring them to the United States, put American actors outside the costumes. They're all Japanese
Reuse the
kids.
footage from
They're all Japanese kids inside those costumes in that footage.
This makes so much sense
It
now.
does.
That's why it was so cheap to produce and why they went on for like 12 seasons.
Yeah, because he says the most expensive stuff to produce is those action sequences, which you don't need new kids. You just reuse them. So he bought those from the original makers in Japan, and then he went on to, like, I don't know if he's a billionaire. I can't imagine he's a billionaire, but he's probably pretty close.
Sure.
He's probably got some
He made a
jack.
living at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah, absolutely.
Do you know who recently just did a Power Rangers marathon? Like what company?
What company recently did a Power Rangers?
Recently just said their name a bunch of times.
Walmart?
Nope. Twitch.
Twitch.
We're not
Oh,
currently
okay.
on Twitch because Facebook somehow restricts us from broadcasting to both. But that's
I
a
don't know
thing.
what Twitch is, but I've heard great things as of 10 minutes ago.
As of 10 minutes ago.
Mhm.
I think
But-
that was a pretty good breakdown of Power Rangers, don't you?
Yeah, it really was. No, I was fascinated by the whole thing. The same guy, he was actually a musician, I think. I think I'm thinking that, I listen to a lot of podcasts or whatever. I'm hoping I'm not getting two guys, like, combined into one superhuman, but I'm pretty sure this is the same guy who wrote the Inspector Gadget theme song. That's how he kind of got his start. And then he moved on into more entertainment, and yeah, so it was Inspector Gadget, and he went, Kimberly, Trini, the whole gang. Billy. Who was your favorite Power Ranger?
Ooh, Tommy.
Tommy.
You don't like Tommy?
He was okay.
Tommy was like still around in season 12 or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Tommy's still making money off the Power Rangers.
I'm pretty sure he went on to like make his own karate dojo and did that.
Is that right? Yeah.
something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Him and, who was the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? That was a great dojo, too.
Keith Eder? No.
No.
Heath.
Who are you talking about?
The guy from Napoleon, the main guy from Napoleon
No,
Dynamite.
I'm talking about the guy in the dojo.
No.
That was also in Drew Carey.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know.
Otto. Was it Otto? What the hell's his name? Well, goodness. This is just fantastic stuff.
It is wonderful.
I think you're going to do a couple of movie reviews.
All right, I will do a couple of movie reviews. I just recently broke down and bought physical media. I am not a fan of physical media. I loathe it. I think it takes up too much space in my house. But I did not own
Physical media being like a DVD or a Blu-ray in lieu of
VCR tapes.
yeah, which
All
I've
of
been
that.
purchasing a lot lately, VCR tapes. Well, the funny thing is, no, not really. The records are coming back. That's kind of crazy
I did
too.
the
Vinyl.
vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some of that upstairs
Anyhow.
too.
Back to it. You don't like physical media.
I
You
don't like
broke
physical
down
media,
and bought
but
some.
I went and I bought Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and Star Wars Rogue One.
Yes.
They are wonderful. We actually even bought a Blu-ray player to play said disc.
Oh.
We own Star Wars, the originals, on
You didn't have a Blu-ray player before?
Didn't have a Blu-ray player.
Kind of strange.
A little strange. Andrea's laptop can play them.
Andrea's his wife.
Thank you. She's commenting on Facebook already. They're watching us upstairs.
Wow,
That's how
technology.
Our lives, wives, any of those things. And your mother has also commented. She's watching. And the Cards just won both ends of a doubleheader.
Oh, good. Good for them. Yeah. Hey, Mom.
Breaking update right there.
Wow.
So
things move really fast. If you don't stop and look around, you can miss it.
Thank you.
Ferris
Bueller.
Yes.
I was going to say Matthew Broderick. Sorry.
Same deal. Yeah.
Same deal.
Uh-huh.
I didn't enjoy them as much as I watched them in theaters.
Oh, you'd seen them before?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
A couple times in the theaters. But that's the thing. I had only seen them a couple times in theaters and have not seen Star Wars, those two movies, since then.
Yeah, yeah. Which has been a while. The Force Awakens, that's been like, what,
The Force
a year and a half,
Awakens,
2 years?
watching it again on Blu-ray here at home,
It was fine.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
see that.
I like cried when I saw it in a theater just because Star Wars had come
It's
back.
back,
My
right,
childhood is
right.
back here. I waited in line for
Yeah.
3-4 hours, something like that. I did interviews and stuff.
Long time.
It was a magical time.
Yeah.
It wasn't as exciting for me going back and watching it there. I'm going to be like excommunicated from groups that I'm in online. I could tell already. But
Right.
what's your experience with going back and revisiting?
Both of these movies?
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were both really, really good. But, yeah, I mean, The Force Awakens, it's essentially a reimagining of the original, the New Hope, for whatever you want to call it. But it was still really good. I mean, I don't know. I could see how it doesn't hold up as well on the small screen. I mean, that's typical of most movies, I suppose. Rogue One, I think, was what I liked about Rogue One is that it was just a different animal entirely.
I did enjoy Rogue One more than Episode 7. And I don't think I would have said that had not going back and
Certainly
watching
liked him better on this when comparing both on the small screen. Yeah, Rogue One I think is a little stronger as far as a standalone film than Force Awakens. I mean, the bad guy in Force Awakens, he was a whiner.
Well, I mean, you're going to get a lot more Kylo Ren. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Kylo Ren. Yeah. But, no, he was fine, but he was kind of whiny and just, I don't know. I thought overall Rogue One a little better. A little overrated, though. You know, people are saying, oh, this is the best thing since Empire Strikes Back.
That's me. I was saying that
That's
just a week ago.
Pretty aggressive, in my opinion. Very, very good, but I don't know. See, I'm not a person that really disliked the prequels that much. I thought they were all fine.
I don't hate them.
I like Episode 3. It's right in my top 2 or 3 Star Wars movies with ease. I mean, it's right there with Empire, in my opinion.
I also agree with you there.
You know,
I like it a lot.
Attack of the Clones was terrible. That's neither here nor there. Attack of the Clones bites. Phantom Menace, if you take the pod race out of Phantom Menace, it's not half bad.
I don't agree with you.
Yeah, it's not half bad.
See, I almost like the pod race a little bit more than most people.
Yeah, it's long. It is long.
It is.
And I'm not a NASCAR dad, so I don't really.
Yeah.
That's why I think they
That's
kind
not
of
the part of it, but I don't know. Episode 1's still the very bottom rung. I don't even recommend seeing it. I recommend the Hatchet viewing order.
I don't understand what you just said to me.
The Hatchet viewing order of Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay. You start with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Okay.
You watch Empire Strikes Back after that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not including the new movies. I don't know that's not. The Hatchet order was made before Episode 7 came out.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you watch those two. You've basically seen what Darth Vader has become, and you have this animosity with him and his son that has been revealed.
Right.
Spoilers, sorry, if you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back. 1986. Get on with it, people. Then go back and watch the prequels.
1980. It's all right.
It wasn't 86?
No.
87?
Return of the Jedi was 1983.
1983, but then
Empire
2
was
years after that
1980.
Okay, I got it right.
Empire came before Return of the Jedi.
I never said Return of the Jedi, did I? I haven't gotten there in the hatchet order.
Anyhow.
Episode 4, Episode 5.
I'm pretty sure
then
What's-His-Face was making Willow in 1986, you know.
Go back after that and watch 2 of the prequels, Episode 2 and then Episode 3. You're hatcheting up the order.
I gotcha.
4, 5, 2, 3, and then go watch 6. Basically, you've introduced the character of Darth Vader. You've seen how bad he has become.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and realize how he has become that way because of the war, because of feeling as though he's been betrayed by both his betrothed and his mentor
No!
and the council, and being manipulated by Palpatine.
Right.
And then you see his redemption in Return of Jedi.
That is true. That is true.
You have basically lived the life of Darth Vader.
I can
And
see
then
that.
you can go on to see Adam Driver worship him as a fanboy, and
Which
be
is
all
very
whiny.
strange, yeah.
It's all about Sith artifacts now, though.
It's all about Sith artifacts.
That's where we're getting to with the cartoon series, Star Wars Rebels, the Clone Wars, and stuff like that. They've laid the groundworks for where these newest sequels are going.
Gotcha.
Anyway, we probably ran a little bit long on entertainment, but
Star Wars is good, though. Check them out.
It's plenty to talk about. There's other podcasts that
I still don't understand how some people have never seen any of the Star Wars movies.
I feel like
it's amazing.
You literally have to be working at not seeing them
at
this point
to
not see them.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of different movies, but I've seen some. I've seen the heavy hitters. I guess maybe like Top Gun. I've never seen Top Gun. Maybe that's about as...
I've never seen Top Gun either.
Yeah.
Do we need to have a Top Gun viewing?
I don't know if that's necessary for anybody.
But
like the Rocky movies.
I have the need for speed, Paul.
Okay. I've seen all, well, how many Rocky movies are there these days? 7? I've only seen like 5 of them, but I think I've only seen the first 5.
Okay.
Rocky 4 is a great movie, too. Anywho. Dolph Lundgren. Did you know that guy's like a genius? The bad guy in Rocky 4?
Did not know that.
Brilliant. Yeah, he's like a...
The Russian guy, right?
Yeah, he's like a PhD in physics or something. Crazy.
Right up there with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, I think he actually blows that guy out of the water. And he could probably beat the hell out of him.
We could save that discussion for a completely different
break
time.
Him.
But I think there's a lot of people a lot smaller than him. Anyway, I didn't say anything. How dare I insult the national treasure?
That's true.
Politics, though, that's something we can definitely get ourselves into hot water. How about we move into politics, current events?
I got some stuff here. Well, I'm an accountant by day, so I'm going to talk about, President Trump came out with a tax reform plan.
Indeed.
Yesterday, I guess.
Alyssa Milano, the actress, once tweeted today how to email my senator to repeal such a thing.
Okay.
We can tell you what side of the fence she is on.
I could only imagine.
Also
a big baseball fan, Alyssa Milano. She's a Dodgers fan, I believe. Anyhow, he spells out his tax reform plan, and as has been the case with President Trump, he believes it's going to be huge, massive, big, all these major adjectives, which is kind of weird. In my recollection, I don't think Donald Trump has ever lived in Texas. So all this big, huge, things are bigger in Texas, but I don't think Donald Trump has any Texas connection. It's just kind of strange to me. Anyhow, the long and short of the plan. He's gonna. This is actually quoting from the New York Times. I got a quote from the New York Times. The proposal envisions slashing the tax rate paid by businesses large and small to 15%. The number of individual income tax brackets would shrink from 7 to 3. 10, 25, and 35%, easing the tax burden on most Americans, including the president, although aides did not offer the income ranges for each bracket. Individual tax rates currently have a ceiling of 39.6% and a floor of 10%. Most Americans pay somewhere between the two. So all in all, he wants to simplify the tax code, I guess, is the long and short way of saying that. He's also going to eliminate the estate tax. Now, do you have any idea what the estate tax is? Have you heard of the estate tax?
The estate tax, if I know my history, is the thing that I have to pay money for that is the area in which I live.
Close.
I said some words. They were kind of right.
They were on the right track, sort of. Well, the estate tax, sometimes it's been called the death tax, because you pay it when you die, basically. But a lot of people believe that it is a very misunderstood tax. A lot of policymakers kind of manipulate the public to believe that everybody's going to pay all these taxes when they die on money that they have saved and stuff and such. But the reality is much different. Only about 1 in 500 people pay this estate tax. So this is a tax on your estate. Your estate is what you have left over when you die. So you die, your estate is left to your heirs.
Paul?
Yes.
I'm never going to die. We made
Fine.
a deal.
For those of us who will, the estate is left to your heirs, but only like 0.2% of people actually pay this. Most people think everybody...
How did they get away with not paying?
Well, because it only applies to individuals with estates of like $5.5 million. So most people don't have estates of $5.5 million. This is the federal estate tax I'm talking. States have their own, like Illinois has an estate tax where it's not quite as high of a threshold, but nonetheless, it's nothing that most normal people have to worry about. Of course, the individual who's trying to eliminate the estate tax would certainly have to worry about said estate tax. It's essentially based on the principle that we don't like kings and royalty and legacy wealth in this country. We don't like,
Do we have kings and royalty in this country that I don't know about?
Well, we got rid of that in 1776. We kind of said no more of that stuff. We don't like power being passed by familial, genealogical, basis. So that's why we have this estate tax. Anyhow, that's a long and short of the estate tax, which is going to be eliminated with this plan. Back to the rest of the plan. He wants to double the standard deduction. So the standard deduction, you're kind of familiar with this? You deduct stuff from your taxes. Some people itemize their deductions. Some people take the standard deduction. He's basically wanting more people to take the standard deduction by increasing the standard deduction from $6,000 to $12,000 or $12 to $24 for married couples. It sounds great because it will simplify the tax code again. Everything is about simplifying the tax code.
Is that necessarily better for me, though, just taking the standard deduction?
Could be.
Me, the small-town podcaster, obviously this is the only way that I am making a living.
Right.
Please support us.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is that if you don't... When you itemize your deductions, you itemize your property taxes, your mortgage interest. There are certain deductions you can itemize. That won't be the case as much because more people will just take the standard deduction. But then, like, real estate agents will say they won't like this because it will disincentivize buying houses. That's going to be the big thing that you're going to hear a little bit about on this thing.
Does that mean we're not going to have another housing boom?
That's an interesting question that I was actually going to come to here in a short while.
I did a thing. You
did. So, real fast, I'm going to hit on a few more points here, then kind of wrap this nonsense up. Corporate rates, U.S. corporate rates, corporate tax rates, business tax rates, they're pretty high, actually. They're among the 5 highest in the world. So he wants to drop them from about 35 to about 15%. Which is pretty aggressive in my opinion. Still, if you want to lower business taxes, that's always a good idea. Individual taxes, he wants to drop the highest rate from 40%, give or take, to 35%. And he wants to drop the other rates as well. But that money's going to have to be made up for somehow. So people who were paying 39% are now going to be paying 35%. There's a 4% gap there that's going to have to be made up somewhere, so maybe more people are going to be in the 35%. I don't know. The estate tax, we kind of touched on that a lot already. And deductions, well, we talked about disincentivizing. Let's not forget Economics 101, the concept of incentives. You talked about the 2008 housing market crash. The country seems to have rebounded from such a thing pretty well. And
we made a good movie about it.
It was a solid film. I guess you're talking about that one with
The Big Short.
All those dudes, yeah.
All the dudes.
So this disincentivizing itemized deductions could potentially have a negative impact on the housing market, which is, as we saw from 2008, exceptionally important to this country, the housing market. And people who want to buy houses... The millennial generation is the biggest generation of anybody, and they have pent-up demand right now. They want to buy houses. So Donald Trump disincentivizing the prospect of purchasing a home, I just don't think it's a very good idea. I'm sure there's many good things about this tax plan, but I think he needs to let stew a little bit more before getting overly aggressive with it. And if you want to learn more, I am perfectly easy to find, and I'm sure Donald Trump is too.
If we Google your name, are we going to be able to find your...
No, I think if you Google my name, you find some guy in Germany.
Sweet. Me too.
Yeah. But, you can find me on here.
Excellent. So, tax plan bad?
I guess we'll find out.
We will find out.
Yeah.
Are you looking to buy a home?
I have bought a home. But if this goes through, I will not itemize my deductions anymore. So, there would be less incentive for me if in my position to buy a home if we were in the market to buy a home. That's...
Do you see more people renting at that point?
Could be.
Not buying?
Could be.
Okay. Should I be buying property to be renting out? Is that the market to get into now?
Possibly. But that mortgage interest will be harder to itemize as well.
Okay. So bad on both
He wants to
there.
get rid of kind of all itemized deductions except for a few. Mortgage interest, I think, is actually staying, as are charitable deductions.
So what you're
Property
saying,
taxes are going away.
going down the line is nobody owns anything, we're all homeless.
No. Some people will itemize their deductions. Some people that pay a lot in property taxes and in mortgage interest and in charitable deductions. So who would those people be?
Me?
Wealthy people will still itemize their deductions.
Okay.
But middle America and middle income America will not itemize their deductions as much. So there's less incentive for them to do so. So it kind of says to me, the people with more means will benefit from this concept. That's just one little portion of this whole tax plan, but I think that's what that says to me. People who give a lot to charity, good for them, but not everybody can give $24,000 to charity every year.
You know what it would be like giving to charity?
Giving
to this podcast.
I unfortunately thought that was where we were going with that. Maybe we should get Stan Kroenke to sponsor his podcast.
Maybe we should, and we should get Goldblum on as well.
Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum. Chaos Theory himself.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be in the new Jurassic World film.
I heard that. That's exciting.
Yeah, and to me, I think I've probably only seen like 2 Jeff Goldblum movies, but the ones I've seen...
Jurassic Park 1 and 2?
Well, no, Jurassic Park 1 and Independence Day. He's
solid gold.
Literally the best part of both those movies. He's great. He's a great character
What
in both
about,
those movies.
what's-his-face president and Independence Day speech?
Is that the one who died, or is that the other one?
No, he didn't die.
Bill Pullman?
Yeah.
He's not dead. Bill Paxton just passed away recently.
I didn't know that off the top of my head.
One of the 2 of them just died.
Well,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
okay,
the Bill
he was
Pullman.
just in the new Independence Day resurgence.
Right.
Did he die after that? Or?
I think Bill Paxton just died.
Bill Paxton.
From Twister.
Different person. Yes.
From Twister. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure Bill Pullman got a lot of letters saying I'm, Bill Pullman's wife or whatever. Probably got a lot of letters.
For your loss,
exactly.
Mrs. Pullman.
Because, but he knows the difference. It is what it is. Both good actors. I like Bill Paxton was good too. He was in Apollo 13 as well.
Indeed.
With Kevin Bacon.
7 steps.
One last segment we're going to do in this thing every week. I'm just going to kind of, whatever it is.
We'll try.
I'm going to go over...
It would take me another week to keep this studio running.
A simple biography of a relatively unknown historical figure or event. So, I have this one this week, obviously. The character's name is Mother Jones. But, so I'm going to kind of look at the calendar and say, all right, so we got May coming up. I think I found her birthday was May 1st. So it's going to center around a birthday or an event that nobody knows about. For instance, like the, what's an event that you know that nobody else does?
I know that today is...
Remember the 5th of November. That's the Guy Fawkes Day, right?
Yes.
Right. So
Vendetta.
something like that, yeah.
I was going more for the fact that today is Morse Code Day.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, actually, I did. Yeah, I just saw something on Samuel Morse on online earlier. I guess that's why. I didn't really know why, but that's why he was on there. I did not know today was Morse code day.
My library keeps me well informed.
Go to your public library. Born in 1830 in Ireland, Mary Harris and her family fled the country, moving to Canada due to the famed Ireland potato famine. Following stops in Toronto and Memphis, she married George Jones, a union iron worker. The Joneses eventually left Memphis for Chicago, where tragedy struck in 1871 in the form of the Great Chicago Fire. During this tumultuous time for the American mine, steel, and oil worker, Mother Jones, as she was known to the strike-goers, helped to rally activists in search of stronger workers' rights. Remember, this was the time of Vanderbilt, Carnegie, and Rockefeller, the robber baron era. Long hours, low wages, and poor working conditions were the norm. Reform was needed, and aside here. For more information on these three guys, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Vanderbilt, check out the miniseries The Men Who Built America. It's really good. You ever see that?
I did not.
Check it out. It's really good. It's a History Channel. It was like one of these docudrama things where they're played by actors, but yeah, let's check it out. And like Henry Ford's in there.
Was Bill Paxton on?
No, I don't think any famous actors were in this one. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Everybody loves
Was
Nikola.
it about their feud?
Yeah, it was
Killing
touched on.
elephants and whatnot?
I'm not sure on that, but everybody loves Nikola Tesla now, right? Isn't he the show these days?
Died in New York in love with a pigeon.
Is that right?
Something like that.
Okay. Back to Mother Jones. She was one of the founders of the Social Democratic Party. Although this party is not really in existence today, I would venture a guess that other parties have some roots in said political party. After serving with the American labor movement for nearly 75 years, Mother Jones passed away in 1930 at the age of 100. Here's where it comes into play. She is laid to rest in Mount Olive, Illinois. Just up the road here, actually.
Interesting.
She has a special memorial with a road sign, one of those brown signs for historical markers, off of Interstate Highway 55. Hopefully the politicians that travel to and from Springfield on I-55 stop by for a reminder of what the public servitude really is. Her other notable legacy is through the magazine and now the internet site called Mother Jones. It's a pretty far left-leaning publication, so if that's your cup of tea, check it out. For an illustration, a graphic I looked at called it high quality as a source, but hyper-partisan left, as opposed to leans left. For comparison's sake, the graphic essentially believes that the publication is to the left what the National Review is to the right, so that kind of gives you a breakdown of what Mother Jones was. Yes, that's the one right there. Still, it's pretty cool that this Irish immigrant went from the potato famine to the Chicago fire in such a strong legacy and now namesake to a news source. It's a pretty popular news source, too. Did you not heard that before?
I have not.
Yeah, I
I'm
think it's
signing up for their newsletter as we speak.
That's quick. I guess I sold that to you.
You said the website, whatnot.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the Huffington Post. You heard the Huffington
I've
Post?
heard of the Huffington Post.
Yeah, it's right there with that. Actually, they changed the name of that too.
HuffPo?
Yeah, now it's just HuffPo or HuffPost or something. Yeah.
I believe it.
Rush Limbaugh refers to it as the Huffin' Puffington Post, so you can tell where that one sits.
Not Hufflepuff. Didn't go full Harry Potter.
No, I think even Rush has a little more respect for the Huffington Post than calling it Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff's weak. If you're a Harry Potter fan.
You're in a Ravenclaw, aren't you?
I would like to consider myself a Ravenclaw. I bet a lot of others would see me more as a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Either way.
I figured I'd be in Slytherin as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I have on Mother Jones and baseball, and that's what we had on Star Wars. We checked into the Mastodon. Was that what it's called?
Mastodon, indeed.
Mastodon, and we talked about something else, too. Oh, tax reform. Anything else?
I think that's about it, Paul.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. For more discussion about topics on today's podcast, please visit our website, which we have not bought the URL for yet. So we will let you know next time where to go and find that. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to favorite this station, like it on Facebook, tweet it out, send it everywhere, and
Twitch it. Twitch it.
Oh, we will be on Twitch next time, Paul. Just you wait.
Yeah,
Crunchy will be your new biggest fan.
I gotcha.
Anyway.
I've never tweeted either. I haven't twitched or tweeted or...
Do you have a Twitter account?
I might have started. I think I started one at some point in time, yes. I don't know why. Guy's from St. Louis, right? Gotta support the local guys, right?
I didn't know that.
Dorsey, isn't he from St. Louis?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. Jack Dorsey? Yeah.
Okay. I believe you. You should run the tech thing next time.
Yeah, I might.
Are we going to have a third party on this podcast at some point?
Oh, we're supposed to. She couldn't be here tonight. I think her dog died.
R.I.P. Fluffy.
Yep.
This has been the Just Checking In podcast. We would love your support, so check us out when we get a Patreon set up. We'll check in on you next time.